go. Welcome into the form where we try and find you the winners with the feature racing this weekend, and we're back at Ellerslie for the Winter Series finals. Plenty to get through there on the program. Heading down south to Riccarton as well, and of course our usual segments to get through. So in studio this time for a change. Good morning to you, Bevan Sweetie, Aidan Rodley, of course. Nice to have you up here, Bevan.
Yeah, good morning, Pip. Good morning, A-Rod. Great to be up here in Auckland for the show. A couple of good meetings. I think the numbers are really holding up as we get deeper into the winter. Of course, we've got Ellerslie in play again, and nice field of races out of Riccarton. Good morning, Aaron.
Yeah, morning to you too. Yeah, Winter Series finals out of Ellerslie, so $70,000 up for grabs and 5 different races, so they should be all good races. And yeah, Riccarton's got a good day of racing too, so bit of depth about the Woodville meeting on Friday too, Swings.
Yeah, looking forward to the Woodville meeting. It will be wet there, but there's some nice young horses going out there in the first and couple of races at least.
Yeah, there really is. And of course, yes, we do have Riccarton, so we're lucky enough to have Greg O'Connor joining us from the box seat. Glad that we've pinched you, Greg.
Yeah, nice to be part of the best hour of tipping thoroughbred-wise on trackside. Yeah, looking forward to Riccarton's meeting. It's the Amberley meeting. Had an incredibly dry winter in this region, and therefore a little bit of rain earlier in the week, maybe some on Saturday, might have a part to play.
Certainly might, but let's have a look first at what is coming up on the agenda before we get into those fields at Riccarton. And we'll be starting with Ellerslie. We look forward to the Lawn Shed Winter Series preview, getting down to Riccarton, yes, to take a look at the Amberley Cup and a couple of other features on the program. We've got our bank builders, our trial files, and our best bets as well to round out the show. So for now, let's get into it and have a look what is happening with the weather and track at Ellerslie. Aidan, what's the weather looking like this weekend?
Yeah, not too bad. There's sprinklings of rain, but it shouldn't be too bad. Obviously, Ellerslie does drink it. They'll probably need to put some water on. Although when we were out there last time, Jason Fulford said he didn't have to, just the heavy dews and things. And obviously there was a fair bit of mist around and a little bit of light rain around this morning. Looks A-OK leading into Saturday. This is the last meeting for Ellerslie, so everything should be perfect before they head up to Ruakaka.
Yes, certainly should be. So let's take a look at the first of the Lawn Shed Winter Finals. This is for the open sprinters here. Yaldi, $2.90 favourite from Mr Mojo Rising and Pakuta Gold. What do you make of that market, Swings?
Well, I'm a little bit untrustworthy with Yaldi, so I think he might be a little bit short. He was very, very good last time, and that was his best version, but we haven't seen that every time he's lined up. So in a race, this is a niggly race in that there's no speed. I think this race can be grabbed by the scuff of the neck by one of these riders and go forward and put themselves in a very positive position. And maybe that's Tom Wigram on Mr Mojo Rising, who's going really nicely. Talented young rider, A-Rod Tom, and I think he's paying you some pretty good money at $5.
Yeah, it's an interesting race. One thing that we look at when we look at the speed map is just there's no clear leader, there's no speed, and for that reason maybe it's just a chance for Tom Wigram, who's taking the 4 kilograms off Mr Mojo Rising to just get to the front, use his claim. I think they'll be positive with Moss and Vader. Gospodin should sit solidly there as well, but it'll be really about rider intent. But yeah, it's a messy speed map because there's no clear speed. I think it really is about Mr Mojo Rising this.
Okay, so that's interesting as far as how the race sets up now. Andrew Forsman has a good hand in the race with Mr Mojo Rising, who was a late nom, so we didn't get the inside word there, but we did with Joe Walker with Yaldi. Let's see how he's tracking into the race.
Yeah, really good. Just, yeah, he's been freshened up slightly since his last performance, which was impressive. Sort of swooped up and onto them pretty quickly in that race, and maybe just want to knock up a little bit the last bit, but he's always been capable, and it was good to see him deliver.
Yeah, what's his work been like leading in?
Super. I thought he worked really nicely yesterday. He'll have another little tick-along gallop tomorrow, and he'll be ready to go.
Have you done much with him leading into this one?
Not really. Sort of kept him on that sort of fresher side. He seems to race best in that fashion. But as I say, I thought his work yesterday was strong, and he's well going in.
We see these finals races and a bit of strength to them. How competitive can he be in there?
Yeah, it looked a race that probably lacked a little bit of tempo, would be my first thoughts just looking at the noms yesterday, and not a big field, which I think helps. He won't be too far off them. Hopefully there's some sort of tempo. I think he can certainly produce a good sprint off any sort of tempo, so hopefully there's a little bit there, and yeah, should get his chance.
So maybe it does come from the stablemate. As we take a look at this race, we actually highlighted last week, and he was good here, Yaldi, and just goes up half a kilo.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a terrific run. He's run the quickest last 8 and 600 of this race Obviously, we get a line through Pukuru Gold, who's run the quickest last 4 and 200. They both come from back and running. This is a smaller field with less speed, so maybe both are less favoured. And I wonder, you're hearing from Joe there, is that when he'd already identified there was a lack of speed, we'll chuck a Mr. Mojo Rising, take 4 kilograms off, and it changes the race.
Well, it certainly does. And Mr. Mojo Rising was surprisingly strong for me the other day at Wanganui. I thought he was probably reaching his peak out at that 1400 metre level, but proved me absolutely wrong. Just ran through the line strongly, beat a couple of nice horses, and Al Jumala, who was making good ground, turned the ace. Clearly a horse who's had a lot of ability up north. So I couldn't put too much between the two horses. Therefore, the price around Mr. Mojo Rising Pip was something surprising to me. The young man clearly has a lot of ability, Tom Wigram, and he's a young rider who's going to make a few marks in the racing industry in the next couple of months. But interesting market. Greg, Mr. Mojo Rising, Pukuru Gold, Yaldi, they're all in with a chance.
Yeah, they are, and the small field, I think, aids the chances of Pukuru Gold. Love the way it found the line in that race, went to Te Araha. Probably didn't handle the track there. I'm going to put it down to that anyway. Up to 1400, really interesting. Couple of kilos off Hayley Hasman. A few ticks there. I like Pukuru Gold each way in the first.
Just one thing on that as well. From that video we saw, there's a 2 kilogram swing that does advantage Pukuru Gold. So that really evens up that Pukuru Gold Yaldi rematch.
Yeah, it really does. And we'll hear from Rhys Trumper very shortly. But first, let's have a look at Mr. Mojo Rising. He is on the quick backup, as we know. But as you said, Bevan, he was really good here. Really,
really good, because I thought he was a little bit susceptible with the 59 against a couple of smart horses here, especially Al Jumala out wide. Look, it was a race to the outside fence, as it does develop at Wanganui when we get into these wetter track conditions. But I thought he was under siege here a little bit, but the last bit of his race, Aidan, was the best bit of his race. And look, he's a late nom into the race. I think they'll go forward with him. If they leave him alone and he's strong through the line again, he'll be very, very difficult to beat.
Yeah, it was a tough performance, especially when we saw Al Jumala coming into it. Runs the quickest last 4 and 200 of that race, so it shows just how strong he really was late. He's won 7 of 28. The one chink in maybe is Zama, as he's been to Ellerslie a couple of times and been unplaced on both occasions. But he's a quality horse. He was a horse that they took to Melbourne earlier in his career, so yeah, no knock on one bit.
Okay, yep, we like him. And then we are now going to hear from Rhys Trumper, of course, with Pukuru Gold, and see how he is off last start.
I'm really pleased with him. Look, he got tripped up by that wet track Te Araha, but he's bounced out of it well, seems bright and happy. Back to Ellerslie, where he races very genuine and honest. He should be able to turn his form around.
What have you asked him in training leading in?
Look, he doesn't take too much. He's pretty clean-winded sort of horse. He's had a couple of nice pieces of work since Te Araha, one including on Tuesday, and he looked really good during that. He does have to race over 1400 for the first time, so he does need to be on his best behaviour. So if we draw a gate, I'm sure he'll be there or thereabouts.
2 more contenders come from the Wexford Barn. We do have Uderzo and Moss Invader. Lance O'Sullivan caught up with Aidan, and Aidan just asked Lance, is everything okay with Uderzo?
Yeah, he's fine. He sort of races every week. He's been very consistent, but he's got an amazing constitution, the horse. But look, he's back there this weekend, so 2 weeks between runs, which is something he's not used to. But look, he's a horse who's now got up in the weights. I think when he won, he carried about 54.5. I think he's got 60-odd kilos or thereabouts, but pretty big impulse for him. But a couple of kilos off his back with a claimer, so he'll be an interesting runner.
He's terrific up there last time too, wasn't he? It seems to obviously go pretty well at Ellerslie as well.
Yeah, he does. Some of his better runs have certainly been on that track, so let's hope he can put in another good one.
What about Moss Invader leading into this? What have you done with this horse?
Well, look, we believe he's a good horse fresh, and hence why we've been nowhere with him or doing a lot with him. But look, he should run well, the horse. He looks good. His work has been encouraging, so we're expecting him to perform.
Cat burglar Lance O'Sullivan. It looks a bit cold out there, I think.
We don't normally see him on a Wednesday, and he was obviously in pretty good high spirits. So he was
Bank got
enjoying
robbed in Matamata, you know who the culprit is. Look, he's honest, isn't he? He lines up every sort of Saturday or Tuesday, and he never goes a bad race.
Yeah, and this was at Ellerslie, so he's bringing Ellerslie winning form. He's thriving on his racing. They're doing little bits to, just change it up with them as well. So, yeah, he's got to be a contender here again.
Yeah, Belarus is okay as well to the line. So
yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a competitive go. But look, I'm with Pakuru Gold. Been really impressed by a few young apprentices in recent times, actually. Hayley Hessman, wouldn't find a more personal young lady, beautifully spoken, riding really well. Jack Taplin made an impression on me the other day at Wanganui. I think he's a talent, and you've got Flor Mormon as well. They're really talented young riders coming through, but I'll go with Pakuru Gold as a horse in this. I'm forgiving last start. I think second up was very, very good and probably gets into the right slot here to be winning.
Yeah, just going back into that as well. Belarus are, I think, 3.5 kilograms better than Aduzo, so that helps. And going back into Moss and Beta, there's a horse who ran third in an Aotearoa Classic, $1 million race last season as well. But I've just gone to the top of the book thinking that Mr. Mojo Rising's beautifully placed as the likely leader here with the 4 kilograms off. So that's where I've landed. Greg, for you?
Yeah, I'm going with Pakuru Gold. You mentioned that weight swing. I think that's a huge advantage for its small field. Won't be far off them. Up to 1400. Loves Ellerslie. That'll do me.
Okay, like it. Now we're moving on to the stayers for their final. Let's take a look how the market is shaping up here for the 6th on the program. Pacifico $4.50, favourite from Box Moss at $5.50, Solidify at $7.50. When there's a handful of them in single figures, their swings, it looks pretty open.
It is definitely open. This is a race where I think there'll be a lot of pressure early. There's a few that want to find the front. I thought Box Moss was a very good win at the most recent performance, but this is a step up, maybe a little bit short. I think Drop of Something is rounding to a winning performance, getting fitter and fitter, probably looking for a wetter track eventually, but I think not too far away from a win in this.
As you say, Bevan, there's a lot of speed here. You know that Pacifico is going to go forward. I think they're just thinking that maybe, and we'll hear this from Joe Walker very shortly, that maybe he's a horse who runs a little bit better when he does get to the front. Can't Hunter's going to get forward again. Hakata Bay with the lightweight probably presses forward from a wide gate. Drop of Something major, probably land there. Afina. Just a tricky barrier draw for Afina. Fly him away, another really sticky barrier draw. Then you'll have He's a Shocker and Diamond Jack getting back. But solid speed looking at this map.
That's what we want to see as we do, yes, catch up with Joe Walker around Pacifico. And Aidan just asked him what he made of the last start effort.
Probably just didn't quite work out. Seemed to get a sort of a soft enough run in terms of how the race panned out. He came back and he was sort of covered in a little bit of kickback. So in hindsight, it probably, what looked a nice soft run probably wasn't necessarily the case. He sort of hasn't found the front in this sort of company the last couple of starts, which was sort of his old style that he sort of needs to be rolling on in front and getting things his own way. He's more tractable than that now, and Saturday he's against a similar sort of field, so we may have to take a sit again.
Track work-wise, what have you asked of him leading in?
Work this morning, just the one gallop this week. He doesn't need to do too much. He is hard fit, and hopefully we can get one more good run out of him.
So that change in tactics, Sween. So we know his ability. I mean, he was the Rotorua Cup winner not that long ago.
He's not a horse that sprints hard, there's no doubt about that, but he will outstay a lot of horses with his racing pattern. I think there was slightly concerning signs at his most recent performance. He's been up a long time, he's had a lot of runs over ground. He's tough, there's no doubt about that, but there is a bottom to the barrel, and I think it's one more throw at the stumps, and if he doesn't perform Saturday, he probably goes to the paddock.
It's maybe, but then you can be forgiving. He's carried 61.5 kilograms there. He drops this time round to 58, and there's a 6 kilogram swing on Fly My Way. So I think there's a few things there that just suggest that he might be back. He's going to do no work from barrier 1 and get on speed. So
it's interesting if he's an apprentice's horse for me.
Well,
he takes a fair bit of riding because he's not one that'll pick up and sprint with a little. So he'll have to work on him.
I think that's that'll dictate tactics because they'll just let him run. They'll let him run with Tom on.
Yeah, and maybe it helps a horse like Fly My Way, and we'll catch up with Mark Brosnan, and Aidan just asked him how he came through that last start win.
He's come through really well, Aidan. It was a good win. He hadn't won a race for a long while, but he has a lot of bad luck stories, so it's good to get a win.
Obviously this time money's up, so it's a pretty competitive race. But how are your two going into it?
Oh, they're both very well. The other horse, as you know, he didn't jump out very well last time. We've put a senior jockey on this time, so he's got to carry the full weight, so he's got one handicap, not two. So let's hope he can. If he jumps with him, he'll be a chance,
Take a look at this key lead-in race here on June the 6th, and Fly My Way was really good coming down the outside, and Mark said after the race too, Bevan, that he probably didn't seem that comfortable in that soft 7.
Well, I think he got to the right part of the track on this day. Look, Drop of Something's sort of a one-pacer as well, so both of the horses went past, they've run nice strong races, and he really deserved this. This horse, Fly My Way, geez, it had so much bad luck in his races. He really did deserve a winning turn. I think Superfly to his outside's got a fair bit of ability going forward as well, but look, competitive horses, both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big factor is the 3.5 kilograms off Pacifico. That might be the thing that brings him back into it. Diamond Jack was okay. They put the barrier blanket on this week to try and get him to jump out okay, but senior jockey means he's got to carry the 62. That's not easy.
But he's going well enough, that horse. He'll find a slot, Diamond Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll find a slot, but maybe not Saturday with that way.
Really strong horse at the end of that 2100. First win at Ellerslie, so confidence boosting there for Fly My Way as well. Wouldn't need to go much better to go close to winning this. I just went like this with this race, Pip, because there are so many winning chances and he's in winning form, so we'll go with him.
Yeah, look, why not, Greg? I think that's a really good way to play it. But before we get selections, let's hear from Chris Wood too, as Box Moss in the race, and Aidan just asked him how much he deserved that win last start at Te Rapa.
He did very much so. He hadn't had much luck prior to that race, and everything went well. I was pretty bullish, as you probably saw on TV last week. Probably a bit too cocky, to be honest, but I was very, very happy for Ian Farrell. He's put a lot of money in the game, and it was a good result for him and the horse.
Yep. The horse come through it okay?
Super. Yeah, he's nice and bright. Listen, he's having this run, and he'll be tipped out in the paddock for a month, 6 weeks, and I'm after that Waikato Cup in December.
Yep. What about this weekend? What can you expect of him?
He'll run another big race. He's bounced through the run the other day, and I'm very happy.
He's a lightweight chance with the 54 kilos. Do you give him one?
Oh, I think he's a good horse in the making. This is an exceptional win, actually, on the day. I was really, really impressed with this. He's come from a long way off them to win this race. Whether he's just slightly better this way of going than he is the Ellerslie way of going is a question mark in my mind, but I think it's the right thing to turn him out after Saturday and set him up for one of those big cups into next spring and summer.
It was a very good win, and obviously confidently tipped out by Chris as part of a really fruitful trainers package from us last week too, which was great. Drops 4.5 kilograms off that. I thought it definitely a lightweight winning chance. Greg, your assessment?
Yeah, look, I'm going to go with Fly My Way. I know it goes up in weight, but gee, looks strong, doesn't he? Looked really strong at the end of that last win. So, yeah, Fly My Way is the one I'm with.
Look, I'm going to stick with Drop of Something, but I am concerned about the Pacifico factor in this race. I thought if they went forward with Drop of Something and they left to Drop of Something alone in front, then it'd be very tough to beat. I think the horse with the best turn of foot is Box Moss in this particular race. I think there's some grinding, tough old stayers in this race who have found their mark, and so it'll be really, really competitive. I think Box Moss is the excitement factor going forward out of the race, but I'll stick with Drop of Something. He's getting fitter and fitter.
Yep, I think we've got it down to around 4 horses, Box Moss and Drop of Something, Fly My Way, and I think Pacifico's got to be in there. So I'm like Greg, this one. But in the end, I've gone with Pacifico.
He's learnt the way of the form.
Works.
He's fits right in.
And from there, we're going to take our first break on the form. Off the other side, we'll continue with our Winter Series finals. That's how we always do it, isn't it? You're watching The Form, and we're concentrating in currently on Ellerslie with those Winter Series finals. It's time to take a look at race number 7 on the program. This is the progressive final here, where Andiamo is your favourite. Very open, $6, Bevan, from Inside Out and Orson Stone. This is a great final.
It is, and finding the winner is nightmarish, so we'll go back to throwing the balls in the air and seeing where they land, because Andiamo was great beating Orson Stone last time. There's a swing in the weights there. Inside Out, well, Inside Out could do exactly that. Pure Lotus. I'm a big fan of Curved Glory here. Really, really impressed with its 2 runs to this point. I think it's an exceptionally progressive filly for Donald Lockyer.
Still in 2 races at the moment, also in the 3-year-old race, which is at the end. So it'll be interesting to see which way they do go with Curved Glory. I agree. Yeah, it looks really promising, but wide draws in both.
Okay. Well, Andiamo is the favourite here. Let's hear from Stephen Marsh and see what he made of the last start win.
Yeah, I think both her wins have been good. She won a midweek maiden at Matamata. Then she went on and won a Saturday grade at Ellerslie and didn't get all favours. Got caught very wide, had to cover a lot of ground. was very good to the line. She galloped up beautiful yesterday, Tuesday. Matt Cartwright galloped her, and look, she's going in great form. Bit of rain round, certainly won't worry her, and even sort of a field, but 70,000, so nice.
Yeah, with that money up, but it does sort of bring them out. What are you thinking? How competitive can she be?
Yeah, she's a Vanamos mare. We've taken our time with her. She's certainly looking good. She's strong. She's right at the top of her game, so I don't see why she couldn't put 3 on the bounce.
Seems like a little bit of confidence from the camp, and this was a really good one, as he said, back-to-back victories and only goes up a kilo.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a super one, cruised up really. Off a midweek maiden win, so wasn't convinced going in, but the last bit of this horse's work was fantastic. I thought Wilson Stone was really good as well. Probably got stuck down in the worst of it on a day where it probably raced as wet as you'll find at Ellerslie now, with 132 and change for 1,500 metres. Tough old horse, Wilson Stone. This had a bit of X factor about it, this performance.
Yeah, it really did, especially as Stephen said, coming out of a midweek maiden and then stepping up to a Saturday rating 65. That's not easy to do, but boy, that was a win and a half. You've got to be really forgiving of Wilson Stone. The last 2 races, it's chased home iPark and Andiamo, and both times it's been on the wrong side of the way the races turned out.
Yeah.
Got handier last time out and it was a swoopers race, got back and it was an on-pace race at the previous start. 2 kilogram swing on Andiamo, I think that might be enough to turn the tables.
Maybe third time lucky. Let's also hear now from Briar Weatherly. They, of course, have Inside Out and see what she made of his track work recently.
Yeah, his track work was good. Look, he's sort of a horse that's continued to improve this prep. His win at Ellerslie last start was very good. Look, lucky to hold on to it, but he's just sort of had a quiet trial in between runs, and yeah, his work's sort of been strong through leading into Saturday.
Obviously, he did a few things wrong in that win. Have you done anything to iron out those, or do you think it's more a whip thing?
Yeah, look, I think it was just sort of the fact that probably the whip was in the right hand. He had done that one time at Tauranga previously and did get relegated for it. So, look, I think that's just he's a little bit green. We did have a bit of a play around with gear at the trials, but look, we have elected to sort of just keep the full cut blinkers on. We think he's a little bit sharper with those on. So, look, I think if the stick can sort of stay in the left hand on Saturday, I think he should be fine.
Okay, so we know the instructions. Whip in the left hand, but look, very talented horse, Aidan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem was not really about whether it was in the right hand or not. It was just, I think it was just the whip. You know, the horse didn't really like it. But obviously the performance outstanding. It was in front, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. They're all out the back door. So for that horse to be winning off the front against the pattern of the race, just a phenomenal performance. Big home Wilson Stone, Sharapova, Lion Eyes, they have both gone on to win since. It's just really strong form as well. 60 kilograms won't be easy, and just that little niggle about going right-handed around.
Okay, you guys keep on saying little. Not everyone's saying little. That wasn't little. We was almost out in the car park. Very talented horse, but my word, it's a little bit nerve-wracking inside the last couple of 100 metres. I'm going to stick with Wilson Stone. I think the turn in weights is going to really suit this horse. From a good draw, it'll find the right slot there at Ellerslie on Saturday. So happy enough to go with Wilson Stone, Greg.
Copped a bagging pre-show from you, Bevan, didn't I?
Hey,
I went with Can Do, who's from your neck of the woods. Actually did a bit of homework, rang Kavish Chowdhury yesterday, and he said, look, if the horse had run straight, it still ran the quickest last 8, 6, 4 and 2 and finished third. And I know it might be there as a travelling companion for the Diddums for Shameless Star, but maybe they might just trick this horse and get him to run straight by going the other way. And the $23, I'm looking for hero status.
Yeah, we'll have you back, Greg, if it gets up. I think one little man can go elsewhere. We'll have Greg back. But look, from there, let's have a look at the 3-year-old race of Ellerslie. And here, this is Win, who heads up the betting at 360 from Ruby Rush and Has to Rock. Have they got this market right, Bevan?
Yeah, Arwen took a while to win, but won really nicely the other day. Ruby Rush, just looking for it more cut out of the track. Has to Rock, nice horse. But these are tough fields at Ellerslie for sure. Again, I'm interested Curve Glory at $10. I think that's a good each way price.
That is a good price.
Okay, well, let's hear from Rob Wellwood and see what he did make of Arwen's win last start at Te Rapa.
Yeah, I thought her win was very good. She was due to have run the week before at Te Rapa and just had a little niggle, the week before at Ellerslie had a little niggle, so she ended up running at Te Rapa. Win was very good, but it does mean she's backing up only 7 days into this.
Yep. Has she done okay coming through?
Yeah, she has. We're not going to have to do anything with her all week, so she's sort of going to be pretty easy to get through to there. Just try and keep her happy, and we'll make a final call on Friday whether she runs. It is only a week back up, but it's a nice race, so there's a lot of reasons to want to get there.
Yep. Hester Rock obviously going pretty well too.
Yeah, she is, and she sort of was on pace and did a fair bit early the other day, and just against those older horses too. Back against 3-year-old company, I think is going to help her, and just hopefully she can get into a bit of a better rhythm this time.
Yep. To the Maxes, maybe a little bit of a step up. What are you making of the form there?
Look, I think he's going a lot better than probably what it looks. His run at Te Rapa, he got back on a very slowly run tempo, and the race just never changed. So we're just going to try and put that one behind us. I think he's a lot better than that, and he's probably better off at Ellerslie.
Yep. So a really nice hand you're taking into the race. You got a leaning on one, and maybe give us a winner?
Off what Arwen did last weekend, it's probably hard not to put her on top, but I think Hester Rock's going really well, and to the Max's best, he's certainly competitive too.
A slight edge to win, and I thought she was brilliant here. Once she come outside, just really picked up immediately, Bevan.
Yeah, this is a really sort of exciting effort going forward. I actually, it's completely different this year. Having a race like this, there'll be good form into the spring coming out of this race. I think there's some really talented horses here. So to have this sort of race still going at this time of the year is really positive going forward. She'd promised this, and she sort of got the right run into it. She got centre track, and she put him away with a fair bit of authority. But I think this is a good horse's race, so it's not going to be any easier on Saturday.
Yep, all the quickest closing section was 8, 6 and 4, but it very much was you had to be there, back and wide at that point of the day, and she was, so she got into the right spot. But she does look really progressive. For mine, I was surprised that she was such a dominant favourite here, that there was such a gap to the second favourite. I didn't sort of see it that way. I thought it was quite an even race, but I think she's still a horse to beat, Greg.
Yeah, I absolutely do too. She's beautifully bred, white robe bred out of Cooley, who won a white robe and a couple of South Island breeders. So I think scope-wise, she has the potential to go as far as any in this race. If she lines up, she'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, she certainly will be, but a stable that'll be hoping they can is, of course, Wexford. They've got Ruby Rush in the race. Let's hear from Lance O'Sullivan, and Aidan asked him just why she's racing so well.
Oh, look, she's just getting a bit stronger and just starting to mature, and she'll be better even next season, no doubt about that. But her form's been very solid. Her run last time out was very good, and we think the step up to the mile should suit.
Everything's gone all right with her leading in?
Yeah, look, she's sound, she's well, and look, it's just been maintenance work with her, but no problems.
Whistler also in the same race, so tell us a little bit about this horse.
Yeah, look, he's he's probably not quite as qualified as what she is, but we think out to the mile will certainly be a good assist to him. He looks like he's looking to run further, so he'd been an interesting runner when he sort of won his maid and he was sort of being pushed a fair way out and kept coming over a shorter trip, but we think the mile will be a good help.
Some good insight there from Lance. How do you rate their two chances, Aidan?
Yeah, I thought Ruby Rush was coming into it really nicely. Good sectionally last time out. It was in behind Curved Glory. So that's where I think Curved Glory, especially with Tom Wigram's 4 kilogram claim down to 51, does bring Curved Glory right into this, especially the white draw. I think they can sit outside the leader here if they wanted to. So a big chance. But I went Arwen on top. I thought it was a horse to beat, but I'm surprised that it's such a short price.
Yeah, look, I'm with Curved Glory. I think this is a really exciting horse. I was blown away with the price she got second up in that 3-year-old. Went out $11 to win a maiden in really impressive form, and then you sent it out $11.20 again, and it's at double figures on Saturday. Yeah. 51 kilos with a talented young man aboard. Gate is a niggle, but you're right. If they push forward, it's going to be really tough to beat and a horse to follow. Greg, your selection.
Yeah, if Arwen backs up, I think she can absolutely win it. Like I said before, I think she's got a fair bit of scope going forward, but a lot of respect around Ruby Rush. Nice gait, good rider, big chance.
Maybe a nice little multi there as we move to the last final. And this is for the 2-year-olds too. And it's come up a really interesting field with Stephen Marsh's run up the favourite at 3.10. This is Coniston here, and then you've got Intan at $6.50, TARDIS at $9, along with Thurston, and it really gets out there with quite a few at that $9 quote. Let's have a look at the fave. Coniston, a recent trial winner at Waipa, has actually gone back to back and has been very impressive in both, Bevan.
Yeah, by Witten Bassett, so there's a fair bit on its side breeding-wise as well. Trials have both been good, but this is a 2-year-old race. I don't really have any strong convictions any which way. I'll go with Lance O'Sullivan when the bank robber comes back on and tells us exactly what's going to happen. But it's a strong trial with not a lot being asked, and the Witten Bassets generally get a bit of cut out.
Okay, I normally talk to Michael McNabb after these trials. This was the one he said after this day. He really liked the horse. He's a bit gutted. He's suspended at the moment, can't be there for the trial. He thought this was probably the horse to beat, and he's ridden a couple of other horses in this race as well. So going on what we're going to hear from Lance O'Sullivan as well. I was with Coniston here as well.
Okay, well, from there we've got to go to Intan now as well. This is a runner at Ellerslie when finishing second. I thought this was really good from the Sham Express filly. She just looked a little lost, Bevan, when she got to the front here, I thought.
Yeah, well, race day experience, as we know, is so massively key in all these sort of races, and this horse brings it with the one start by Sham Express, so any sort of rain around wouldn't be against the quad colours. Pretty talented, but look, as I said, these 2-year-old races are very hard to work out, but race day experience is key.
This was a real sit sprint, just there's no two ways about it. I know you mentioned Pelago leading into it from the trial that day. They found the line okay as well, runs the quickest lights, the 8 and 6 Intan, the quickest, equal quickest 600, 400 and 200, but it was in the right spot to be doing it. It was a nice trial winner leading in, so you've got to respect her as well, but yeah, it's a fairly even race and a tough one to work out.
I went with Intan, spoke to Tony Pike about his 3 runners, and he said she would be the best of them. Obviously, the Ellerslie experience will take her a wee way into this race, so happy to be each way with her. Coniston, outstanding in that trial, and I heed the words of A-Rod around what Michael McNabb has had to say. So, yeah, I'm with Intan.
I'll go with Coniston, just on reputation more than anything. There's a few Witten Bassets hitting the ground in recent times. I think El Sharrock has got one in tomorrow at Woodville that has a fair bit of ability. But for this race, Coniston for the O'Sullivan and Scott Tack.
Yeah, I've gone Coniston as well. Real respect around the 2 at the top. TARDIS was good, winning last time out. Thurston's was pretty good at Wanganui last time out as well. But yeah, off the back of a couple of really impressive trials wins, Coniston.
Okay, we'll see if Wexford have unleashed another little star, but from there it's time for our trial files. So speaking of ones we're trying to keep an eye out for, got a few for you. Aidan, you're up first this week.
Yeah, I got him first. Greg O'Connor, yeah, you just you're the replacement.
Careful, careful.
You sit on the sidelines and let me take the sway lot, because this was a tremendous trial for one who does race at Riccarton this weekend. Had won nicely at the first trial as well, beating home a pretty promising one. Again to the Parsons as well, one who was spoken about a fair bit, but pretty impressive on Tuesday at the only trial at Riccarton.
I think the Kelsos have got another smart horse here in La Toya. Beautifully bred by Presier. Just travelled up on speed, ridden really good time, was probably down in the worst of the track condition, wasn't asked for any extra effort. She was a little bit green late in this particular trial, but she did nothing, and I think this is a smart horse. La Toya.
Legato's little sister.
Yeah, so the breeding's there as well. And I'll show much more respect, Greg. What are you getting out of the trials?
Yeah, zero respect from A-Rod. I had to go back a month to find one, and I found Sophisticated Act, because we haven't had any trials in Canterbury in that period. But this horse also goes to race 3 at Riccarton on Saturday. Found the line really strongly. Floor Mormon claims 2, Crystal Williams. Bit to like about this, although you'll find out later on, Swaylock is one that I think will be winning on Saturday.
Yes, and usually, guests get the first honours, but that's okay. Swaylock for Aidan.
As I said in our chat, in behind Pip, Bevan and Leith, I've got a bit of sway here. Yeah. I'm about 4th in the pecking order.
That's not what he said, guys. That's not what he said. We'll tell you that. All right, time for us to take a break. Off the other side, it is time for us to concentrate in on Riccarton, the Amberley Cup Day. Pleasure to have your company on the form. We're concentrating in now on Riccarton, so that means, Greg, we get back to you. What is happening this weekend as far as the weather and track goes?
Well, as I mentioned before, it has been incredibly dry in the Canterbury region. Soft 7 at this stage. Rails in the same position as it was for Tuesday for the half a dozen races we had there. In saying that, they ran about 110 for the 1200, so I've never seen Riccarton look better. The surface is nothing short of outstanding. We are thinking there might be some rain on Saturday, so it might have a little bit of a part to play. But I spoke to Alan Chapman yesterday about that. He said, we've put all the divots back, really happy with the way the track performed on Tuesday, and whilst it's unusual to have 2 meetings, or a meeting and a half if you like, at this time of year, he expects it to play pretty well again.
Okay, that's perfect conditions by the sounds as we take a look at the feature. It is the Greenwood Amberley Cup where Betty Spaghetti at $2.90 is your favourite from one of your favourites, Bevan Royal Valor at $3.80.
Look, Betty looks really well in here for mine with the 3 kilos coming off. Goes up 1.5 kilos, posted a win over Penvo's Lad, who I've got a lot of time for. Yeah, Royal Valor's one of my all-time faves in the south at the present moment, but from an inside gate, we'll get back 1,400 metres. He'll have to be really good, and I think if there was more rain around, then I might flip him around, but just Betty was a class above last time.
One thing about her, she does have the class, and she's probably got the tactical speed to be put into this race as well. One thing about this speed map is just there's no speed here, there's no clear leader. Maybe it means that Lombardi, who doesn't really have that great fresh record, but they can press forward here, and that would give Lombardi, I think, a really good chance. Thomasina, Betty Spaghetti to get somewhere near it, and the rest of them will just go back.
Yeah, they do. Well, let's have a look at Betty Spaghetti last time out, because she got this overdue win, and not only did she get it, Greg, but she just put them away. She was very classy here.
Yeah, she's just a class horse and gets into this race, as the guys have just mentioned, beautifully. Charges through here, a lot of quality about her, and she won this very comfortably. The claim is obviously significant here as well. Likes Riccarton, a lot of ticks here. It looks a race in 2 with Royal Valor, but the way she put them away here, this version of her turns up on Saturday. The $2.90 will seem very nice for some punters, guys.
I agree. I think the price is actually really, really strong. Betty had got the cat in danger on a couple of occasions. She had run into a few brick walls when she probably should have won, but she showed her class there. I think she's got a beautiful action on her. I think she's a beautiful mare who's won 7, so she's got a touch of class. I thought that was a super win, and everything to me suggests she's in at the right spot in the right race to win again. Yeah,
there is a little bit of a swing at the weights, even after Ashley's 3 kilogram claim. So 4 kilograms to Thomasina and 4.5 to He's a Tons of Grunt, who should be sharper third up, but on what we saw from there, she's going to be hard to beat on that.
Yeah, she really is. But we'll see if Sweens' Southern Romance can just pick her up, and that is the Royal Valor, of course. Having a look at him over further last time, the mile, and he gets you, Greg, because, again, he was so far off here, but doing his best work late.
Yeah, he's just a genuine racehorse. He is about 46, 47 days between runs, but they are excellent conditioners of horses, as we all know. Hit the line strongly in this, went great in the Gold Cup, has been racing in tremendous form, won the Hororata Cup prior to those last 2 fourths efforts. He's just a good horse, and he'll go a good race again. I do think it's a race in 2, and she was very good in that race as well. But yeah, I think one of the 2 will win Sweens, and I'm with her being Betty, because I think she has the class factor.
Yeah, look, everyone knows my love affair with Royal Valor, who's a horse who captured me the day Pip and I were down south at Wingatui, coming from an impossible spot, and should have won one of the big goes there. So, look, it's got a massive finish on it. The day it won, they got into the race early, it's before the turn, and really put the horse into it. They tried to do that when getting up over ground, and he just ran out of puff the last little bit. His record at 1,400 metres is actually really, really good when you look at it on the value of it. I don't think the race setup suits, though. If Betty's got 3-4 lengths on Royal Valor at the top of the straight, I think she's got a margin.
He did beat her home in that video, but there's a 2 kilogram swing towards Betty Spaghetti, and she's gone on to win since as well. So there's that about her. But you've got to respect the Wilsons. They've got a couple of decent chances, good trainers as well. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Greg, as we get to you, though, are we dining in on Spaghetti on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we will be. She doesn't often win races back-to-back, but I think she can on Saturday, and with the pull and the weights, I think that's going to be significant, and she's just all class.
Look, Ashley Boyd's a big positive. Like, having had a win on Betty Spaghetti, I think keeping the apprentice on again is a really strong factor for her. So I'm with Betty Spaghetti. I'll have a saver on Royal Valley, but I think Betty, just everything sort of aligns in this race, weight, sort of quality of field, draw by this time of day. I'm a big Betty fan on this occasion.
My saver would be on Lombardi, just based on the speed map. If they can get to the front and do no work, then an upset chance. But Betty Spaghetti picks herself here.
Okay, from there we're going to move on to the Open 2000. Now this is the Sonia and Gary Thompson Open Handicap. Star Ballot, Open favourite at $5.50 from Imperative at that quote as well, and then a Mandarin at $6. So some very open betting affairs as we take you to the Wairere Cup, of course, where we saw Imperative beat a handful of runners on this occasion, Greg, and only goes up half a kilo from the effort for the Andertons.
Yeah, this was a really good effort. You know my thoughts around horses that travel north on the main highway from this stable. They just don't do it unless they think they will be more than competitive, and I'm sure Imperative will be again. Terry Mosley sticks. A Mandarin came to this race last year and was favourite and finished about fourth. Went a good race in this too, as did Tell Me You Love Me, but yeah, Imperative looks pretty well placed again. Looks a decent chance in the race.
Yeah, the numbers really stacked up here as well, just on pure ratings. This one was really strong on the clock, and it was strong through the line. The best bit of this horse's work was past the post. I'm so with Greg. When they travel up the highway, the Andertons, you've got to have a lot of respect. They're very, very patient trainers. The Gibberlines factor, she's a mare who's getting better and better with time. I don't think the gate's against. Terry Mosley's a plus. I thought there was a lot of good things around Imperative.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of them was like, you know, I thought maybe a Mandarin was maybe one of the key dangers. Well, she meets a Mandarin a kilogram better off this time again, and just echo everything you're saying about the Andertons as well. One thing about this race is no great speed. If there was going to be an undoing of it, I just wondered whether it was the map.
Okay, well, it's a race where there's multiple chances. What about Star Ballot off the third in the Founders Cup? Backed it up with a nice effort here on the synthetic, Greg, and comes back 2 kilos in weight.
Yeah, this was nice to see him back winning. Obviously, Pro Serve comes out of this race too. Spoke to Michael Pittman last night. He said he hopes the track dries out a bit. Now, it was a decent sort of a frost again this morning, and likely to be the same tomorrow. So I don't know if it'll be perfect. Really good ride on this occasion by Matt Cartwright. Kavish Chowdhury takes the ride on Saturday. I think it'll be track dependent, his winning chances in the race, but he's always a chance.
Yeah, well, he sort of got himself into the race there on the synthetic, and it was a bit of a pattern on the day there on the synthetic there at Riccarton, that if you're right on speed like that, you're really, really tough to beat. So it was a really good win. It was great to see the horse back in winning form. He's a talent. I'd have him in 4, but I don't see him as a winning chance.
Yep, same thing for me. He's in 4 for sure, and he was building to that winning, and he got it, and he won it decisively as well. So not bad form leading in.
Okay, there's some big prices in this one, Greg. How did you put the circle around in the end?
I nearly put the hands up again because there are multiple chances in this race. Last year, Taimati Diva won it, rung Andrew Carston, got the latest from him. He said, putting the blinkers back on, I expect a pretty big run. So I'll go with her on an each-way basis. Bit of a default each way, to be honest, because there are several winning chances.
Yeah, there's a heap. But I'll go with Imperative. I thought that's one of the better staying wins I've seen just in recent times. And a lot of these horses have competed against each other on multiple occasions. So this horse is really on an upward path for me. And Anderton's training, I think there's a lot of positives.
Yeah, mare in forms, won 2 of her last 3, a good win, and probably even better this time at the weights. So, yeah, Imperative on top for me as well.
Okay, so that's what the team are liking in our features. Now we need something else on the program. Big card. What are we liking, Greg?
Well, he might have stolen it in terms of the trial file, but he's not stealing my best bet. Sway Lock will be winning race number 3. Really strong-looking horse out of the Parsons team. Tina Kominahi, great bet and money already coming for this horse. Massive winning chance.
Yeah, it does have to go up against Doubtable, who was a race day winner, but yeah, I've found the same horse as my best of the rest as well. I want to be with Sway Lock, so yeah, I thought we could side up with, have the same trial, the same best of the rest. We're not going to go the same best bet, but yeah, anyhow. Sweens?
Geez, you're greasing now. Undisputed, a couple of wins in recent times have both been eye-catching, to say the least. It is hard to go 65 into 75 and start in that maiden grade, but gee, this horse has been fair dinkum flying, so just to watch on Undisputed for mine.
Okay, and that completes our look at Riccarton. From there, it's time for our Blackbookers, the horses that caught the eye last time out. Aidan, who's yours?
I went back to Te Rapa last weekend, and there's a few there I wanted to be following out. But one that was tipped out by Shane Crawford as his horse to follow, as his trainer's best, started at $17 and from a wide gate. Boy, this was an effort. Down the outside in the Jerry Harvey colours. It looks to be very close to a win. That was some effort, chasing down the horse who led them from the front in Pure Lotus.
I'm going to take you to one. Hunty and I were watching this race in the Ivy area at Wanganui, and we both went, well, Jethro's going all right, because completely against pattern.
Yeah,
he was the only one right on speed, and they just swooped on past him, and he's kicked on nicely. So when he gets a wet track somewhere, Jethro Tull's going to be winning for sure. I think he's going really, really well. There was nothing in it, and he was massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Too Much. He's a really good horse, this guy. Great to see him back in winning form, winning the Waimate Cup. The good thing about him at this time of year is he goes exceptionally well on the synthetic as well. I think he's had 6 starts for 4 wins. He's such a genuine performer. His full brother, Al Ultimo, went a cracking race at his last start too, so he's worth following as well. But Too Much, he's won 9 races, and that won't be his last win either.
No, certainly won't be. And I'm taking you back to Mata Mata. Shout out to Sean Ritchie. He tipped us the winner of this race. But there was a lot of money for Action Bell on the day as well. She came off the pace. She had the best closing sectionals for the Foot stable. And I thought this was a really, really nice debut run from the fillies. So Action Bell, keep an eye on her. She was flying to the line. Let's have a look at a summary. You can see La Florida, Jethro Tull, Too Much, and Action Bell. Those are your Blackbookers for the week. From there, I need to make some money early team this weekend. So Bank Builders, what are we liking, Aidan?
I've gone to Woodville, so we're going to the Friday meeting, and it's a really good Friday meeting, Woodville Cup Day there. I've gone for Beautiful Lass. I just really like what I saw from her last time out. It was a race that you had to be near the speed, came from a long way back, hit the line for that 5th placing, so previous form was good, so Beautiful Lass for Lisa Latter for mine. I think the 4th at Woodville.
Oh, yeah, look, Beautiful Lass will actually really like the cut out of the track, and in my opinion, that brings her right into it. She was black type place as a 2-year-old. I'm going with the same race multi. For you. Now, Yaldi Time and La Chickabilla are 2 very talented horses. They're going to go on a heavy 10 tomorrow in the first, so they'll get away with it. I think you take both of those top 4 and you'll get a decent sort of result, albeit it is quite a nice horses race, the first on the program at Woodville.
I'm going to default to my harness racing prowess, if you like, and go with Franco Harlem. Race number 6 at Addington Raceway Friday night. I see there's money for it, $2.70 into $2.20. Trained by the Diamond Racing team, John Dunn. Bang, that'll do.
Oh, like it. Maybe a nice Friday fill-up then from the team. That takes us to another break. Don't go far, though. Of course, our trainers were on fire last week with their tips. We'll have them up next.
He's due a winning turn, a couple of seconds at his last 2 starts. Pure Lotus in the maiden 1400 at Te Rapa.
Pure Lotus with a kick of the 100. Pure Lotus storming home La Florida, but Pure Lotus will beat La Florida.
Box Moss has been to the races a couple of times recently Aidan, and hasn't been able to race, so hopefully Saturday when he does get to the races he puts it all together, and I think he wins.
Box Moss out wide, Free Bird, Ivy's down to late with he's a sharp one. Box Moss, Free Bird, Box Moss got it.
We'll go TriStar Te Rapa.
It's TriStar, Jethro Tull, late run, little bit of love. TriStar just in front. Oh, gee, it's close. They're saying 8 will get it outside. TriStar.
We'll go for Erin Gobra. Very good last start, and I think he can go one better.
It's Erin Gobra lifting on the inside, coming after Rib Cracker, overdrawn out wide, and Shantae Wah late, but Erin Gobra will win it.
Yeah, we'll go with Dubawi Diva at Matamata on Sunday.
It's Dubawi Diva kicking on the inside. Dubawi Diva from Honourable, late run Action Bell out wide, but Dubawi Diva on debut wins.
We'll go Sunday, Money Day, 65-1200 Quando.
Quando for Andrew Forsman. Won a trial recently really nicely, carries to 60 kilos. I don't think it'll matter.
Quando, the favourite, ranged up to the lead from Misunderstood. Running on late along the inside is Amusement, but away goes Quando. Ooh, that's a win.
I'm loving one at Wanganui in the last on the program, Atavis.
But the best of good things. Oh, he's a pretty good horse in the making. Atavis is going to trounce them.
Yes, it was an excellent weekend, particularly from those track work tips that we got. I mean, we just got to keep following them.
Oh, they're massive. I'm going to go to the Trolls on Tuesday, get some CD fellas in there, see if they can sort of back up the guys' record. Yeah, flying. Quando, good too.
Yeah, really was good, and a nice price too, I think, in the end. From there, before we give you our best bets and more track work tips, who graces the race form cover this week? Well, Bellarista, of course, for Stephen Marsh, are hoping to lead that winter final. So pick up your edition for all of your form if you're looking for a best bet.
Do they not have their horses running anymore?
No, we'll have to, we had someone away. It's all right, don't be too hard on him. We'll be back next week. But from there, for now, this is what we've been waiting for. Let's find out what the track work tips are.
Going to head to Woodville on Friday, and I think Faint to East will kick off her campaign in good fashion.
Look, we've only got Pokaru Gold this weekend, so hopefully he can get the job done.
Ellerslie Riccarton race, Russian Glow. She attacks the line well, and she's had 2 trials on wet tracks, so back on a good deck, and what'll be a competitive race. It's going to be very hard to beat.
Well, I tell you, this will be the first one we've tipped since 1998. Look, I'm not saying he win, but we've got an interesting 2-year-old going around called Coniston.
I'm going to go Ashoka. Sam will be on, so 2 kilos off. I think the lightweight will help him this week.
Dark Duke, stepping up over the mile on a nice big track, really like him.
The only one in's drop or something, so he's getting back to his form, so hopefully he can get to win this time.
So just quick fire this weekend, I think she'll go a good race.
Not quite so stroppy on Bullish this time on Box Moss, but I think he'd be very hard to beat again.
Well, I'd have to go with iPark. If he gets an uninterrupted run over the mile at Ellerslie, ground should suit him. Matt back on board, hopefully he'll do the job again.
I got 2 racing this weekend, obviously both last start winners, but I will give you Inside Out.
Getaway race at Ellerslie.
Okay, hopefully we have you plenty of winners there. Joe Walker kicking us off on Friday in race number 4, and then a plethora out of Ellerslie. So take a screenshot of that. Hopefully our trainers have provided you with plenty of winners again this weekend. For now, it's time for our best bets. And Greg, since I'm nice and you are our guest, you're up first. Who do you like?
Go with Swaylock. I think the trial was exceptional midweek, not unusual for the Parsons team to do something like this and have them back up. Big, strong, Tina on, a lot of ticks there. I reckon you can multi Cayenne Lucky in the race prior to that into a Swaylock, and you won't be far away. Cayenne Lucky winning a similar race, or exactly the same race, this meeting last year.
I tossed up between 2, ended up with Betty. I think she's actually at a decent sort of price down at Riccarton in the right race. Got a lot of respect for one on Friday, though. One of Pip's old faves. Florence coming back from an open into a rating 65 and going really good. $9, I think, is madness on Friday.
Ooh. Yeah, I've given you a bit of value for my best this week as well. I've gone to a $7 pop in race 5 at Ellerslie. Just Go Boom, who'd run 5th, came from the back in a sit sprint with the first 4 and running with the first 4 home. That was fresh up. Last time out went into a 3-year-old where every horse except for Just Boom was a race winner. Still ran the second quickest closing sectionals. $7 back into Maiden Company. Looked, I think, a really nice play.
And I'm going to take Aiden on in race number 4 with Faint to East as my best bet this weekend. Maybe you can have a Quinella with Beautiful Lass, but I really, really like this trial. Horse that runs second in it has come out and won since. I thought even her efforts last preparation were pretty damn good. So 3-year-old there in the 4th out of Woodville. I think she'll go home a winner, hopefully back-to-back weeks for the Forsman stable. Let's have a look at what a summary is here for us. The Whale kicks us off. Illicit Love at Cambridge on Friday. So playing Friday there. Faint East for myself at Woodville. Ellerslie Just Go Boom for Aiden. Greg Swaylock and Betty Spaghetti. There you go. That's what we are liking this week. Before we do head off, of course, Platinum Pantheon heading around at Ipswich, Bevan.
I thought about him as my best bet as well, actually, Platinum Pantheon. Like, that was one of the bigger runs I've seen through the carnival, what Platinum Pantheon put up last start. If he'd drawn a hole, he wins that race. He's a very, very quick horse, and it's a really interesting discussion Hunty and I were having in the IV area. I'd love a few with Platinum Attack. a bit of a love affair with Platinum Pantheon. I'm not going to be able to split them next season. He's a real exciting machine. He'll be in our Group 1 sprints next season.
Yeah, there's a Platinum Diamond, the mare. She'll go to the Tauranga Stakes next weekend, won't she, as well?
And if she gets a wet track, look out.
But this whole preparation, 2nd in a Cambridge Breeders, then runs 6th in a Gold Coast Guineas, 6th in a Fred Best, and that 2nd placing in the Queensland Day Plate last time out. He's just going so well. That was a massive run. He'll be awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, he certainly will, and he's at a great price, around $3.40 if you want to get involved. Well, that does wrap us up for the form. Greg, thank you very much for your inputs. I'm sure you've provided us plenty of winners.
Yeah, bring back Leith, they say, and if in doubt...
Exactly, I'm going to remember that.
Oh, you fit in good.
Exactly. And nice to have you back up here, Bevan.
Yeah, pleasure to be up here in the big studio, not my little cubby hole down there in Wellington. Looking forward to the racing tomorrow, actually. I think keep your eye out. There's a few value bets tomorrow coming to you from Woodville as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Mr. Reliable, Aidan, as always, thanks for everything.
Cheers, Biff.
Time for us to go. Good luck this weekend if you're having a play.